Hi, this is Emily Hester here. Today, I thought I'd share a little bit about my journey. Some people would call it my testimony. In 2007, I started something I like to call my emails to my sisters. I moved to Tennessee after some life events happened that caused me to relocate. Moved. I didn't know anyone in the Tennessee area when we moved. I moved from Mississippi, and I did get involved with several different groups. So I did have connection with other women, and I really grew in my relationship with God and started writing and really diving into the Holy Bible. And I'm going to share video I did a little earlier, so I'm sorry this is raw, it's kind of messy. Welcome to Emails to My Sisters. This is Emily Hester, and I'm going to share a little bit about me and some of my spiritual or relationship journey, possibly weekly, but over the coming months I may read some from my journal. And instead of looking at me, I thought maybe you'd prefer to look at a cat as they sit and watch or get bored and walk away from what I'm doing. So here goes. This is called His Word is My Life Testimony. I think it is a leap of faith opportunity that spawned His Word being the breath of life for me. I was a stay-at-home mom raising a 2-year-old when my husband was laid off from a job where he had been employed for over 11 years. Corporate scandals and company mergers led to major cutbacks and many layoffs. New job opportunities were scarce in our area, and I asked Jesus Christ to be my Lord and Savior about 3 months before the layoff. Needless to say, I had a romantic notion that since now I have Jesus in my life, everything will be peaceful. I was shocked when I felt like my whole world was in an uproar. I had faced life's challenges in the past. I dropped out of high school to be my terminal mother's caregiver. I left home after my mother's passing because, okay, now who's going to fix me dinner? I faced having to be a parent to both my parents. Hey, God has shown me I'm sometimes resentful for, and I still have abandonment issues over it. God did show up, though, and He provided a way for me to get my GED and to go to college. And I credit a lot of that to the intervention because of my granny's prayers. Note that I asked Christ into my life because Granny was no longer alive to continue interceding for my protection. Granny had passed away, and at this time I had new responsibilities. I had a husband, I had a son. I knew I had always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom with my son, and it's a passion for me that in itself was a leap of faith thing. Just being a stay-at-home mom in this economy, this day and age, I felt pressure all around me to go back to work and put my son in daycare. I had temptations all around me to leave my husband and start running my life my way, but I knew I couldn't do that either. In life, when you're faced with loss of something precious, your home, job, marriage, health, sanity, that's when God becomes more real to you. You're prompted to take a leap of faith out of desperation. His word gave me spiritual discernment on which risks to take and which ones to beware. If you ask Him, God will give you just enough courage to take the first leap on the tightrope of living by faith. Then once you're out on the tightrope, you'll feel uncomfortable. When you start feeling uncomfortable and panicking is when you realize, I can't walk this tightrope alone. That's when the word came alive for me. I can't make this marriage work. I can't raise this child on my own. I can't overcome my addictions without Him. I'm totally dependent on His word to bring me hope, guidance, reassurance that I'm balancing this tightrope act we call life, just as that cat's doing now. So I know this was a little jumbled this morning, but I wanted to share kind of where my own personal relationship started, and it really happened after the security of having a grandmother pass away, parents not being there for you when you really felt alone. We do have a spiritual parent, and that's God, and we can have that relationship through His Son Jesus Christ. He intercedes on our behalf. He stepped in place of where my granny was the interceder. Christ is now my interceder. So I know it's a lot of religious talk that I'm doing right now, and it was a little jumbled, and my story is a little haphazard. I'm reading an old testimony I wrote, but just as that cat's climbing up there, God gives us safety, or at least gives us enough grace. Thank you for joining me in my first emails to my sister.